Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play. This time around, it is Cool Spot for the Sega Master System. Unlike other versions of this game, the Super Nintendo and the Genesis/Mega Drive versions, which I've played before. I've played the Genesis/Mega Drive version quite some time ago. This Master System version only came out in Europe. Which is interesting because there was a Virgin Cola. Yes, the same Virgin, that is Virgin Games and Virgin Records. They had a cola back in the 90s, look it up. Virgin had a cola in Europe and especially in the UK. And as far as I can tell, hey, there's the credits. As far as I can tell, 7-Up was not sold in Europe at the time. I could be wrong on that. My memory is a bit hazy. But nevertheless, the 7-Up branding that is prevalent in the American versions of the game aren't there in the European releases. So therefore, you just have a generic green bottle. And the 7-Up bottles are Virgin bottles. Anyway, we have an options menu. You can choose between easy, normal, and hard. I'm just gonna set it on normal just to be safe. And you have music and effects. These just turn the music and sound on and off respectively. So with that in mind, and with all that mentioned already, let's go ahead and start the game. So we need to free our friends from the cages. We need to pick up colas and 1-ups whenever we can, and of course we need to pick up all the spots. The more spots we are, the more spots we collect, the cooler we are, and the more cool we are, the easier it is to free our friend. So our first level is Shell Shock. And the levels that are in the Master System version are pretty much like they are in the Genesis and Super Nintendo and Mega Drive versions. Genesis/Mega Drive and Super Nintendo. The only difference is everything is a little bit slower, and there's just less color now. But everything's still more or less the same. So you still have all of these hermit crabs that you can shoot once while they're in their shells to get them to come at you if you don't get close enough to them first. You have the little flying enemies that will fly back and forth. And of course you have some of the pincer crabs that will come out of their little holes and attack you if given the chance. Don't allow them the chance, obviously. Good grief. Thought I'd never get rid of that one. So, just like in the 16-bit versions, you run, you jump, you shoot. Button 1 jumps, button 2 shoots. And when you run, you move slowly at first, but if you hold the left or right for a few seconds, you can eventually run. And you want to be careful when you're running, because you never know when you might run into something that you don't want to run into. At the bottom is your heads-up display. You have your current score, the current amount of time you have left, the current amount of lives you have left, and how cool you are. By picking up spots, we increase our cool rating. There are clocks you can pick up to increase your time by 2 minutes. You want to make sure you find them. And if you run out of time, you will lose a life. So keep that in mind for when you're picking things up and trying to get to the maximum cool rating, because you will want to go for that. Well, at least you need to get at least 60 points. The game always tells you tell you to get 60 cool points, which means you need to bring your cool rating up to 60% before you can release your friend from the cage. And once you release your friend from the cage, you can move on to the next stage. Pretty self-explanatory once you know that. The big spots with the V on them are worth 7%, while the small dots are worth just 1. Also, you will be seeing gloves telling you where you need to go. You will definitely need to follow those gloves whenever possible because, hey, you will need to know where to go if you want to rescue your buddy from the cage. And at the lives counter, there is also a health meter. It's a picture spot, and it vanishes more and more the more you get hit. If it flashes for any reason, you are 1 hit away from death. If you pick up a red potion with a V on it, that is health. You want to make sure you pick that up. I missed out on one, but I didn't miss out that time. Sometimes you'll find the potions out in the open, other times you will have to go out of your way to actively shoot down enemies to get them. And if you do shoot down an enemy, you want to make sure you stay on screen just enough so that way it doesn't disappear as soon as you off-screen it, so that way you can pick it up and get the unexpected health, which is something that you need to do. Alright. Now, when you're jumping onto the bubbles, you need to hold the jump button if you want to get a higher bounce off of them. Otherwise, you're barely going to bounce off of them at all, and you're not going to reach some of these balloons. So yeah, keep that in mind as you explore the area above where you can't go right any more than you already can. And we are now at 98%. There is one balloon that I went to earlier to pick up a cool point. It's not this one. Actually, I think it is that one. I may find another one. If I find the one that I'm supposed to jump up and grab, I'll tell you. But more than likely, it was the one where I just jumped up towards it earlier. That spot is probably the easiest one in the entire stage to miss. And yeah, it was that one that I jumped up towards earlier. Yeah, you want to make sure you get that spot before you leave if you want 100%. You don't get... I wouldn't say you get a bonus for getting 100%, but if you get enough and still have plenty of time left over, you can get a 1-up at the end of the level. And when you reach the cage, if you have 60 or more points, you can shoot the cage down to break the lock and free your friend. And I need to readjust my headset. Yeah, you need to get plenty of bonus points in order to get the extra life. All right. So for the bonus level, I want to start by making my way up and holding 1 while bouncing off all the bubbles that I can. There's a V right there. You want to make sure you grab that because you'll be spelling the word virgin instead of uncola in the European versions in order to get your continue. As mentioned before, 7-Up and its advertising not as prevalent in Europe at the time of the game's release as it was in the United States. And in case anybody from Europe is watching this video, hey, I'm from the United States, how's it going? So, you have a limited amount of time to get all of these cool points, which is something that you need to do. If you can somehow get all of the cool points, you can get yourself an extra life here, which I definitely recommend doing, if you can. I'm obviously not going to get everything here, especially since I don't have the level layouts down all that much. But 86%, that's not too bad. As long as you get the continue letter, you're good. And the more continues you have, the easier it is to get through the game. And yeah, you got... Spot has to touch the 1-Up in order to get it. Spot, of course, being the main character. The guy's name is Spot. Anyway, we're done with Shell Shock, and now it's time to play Peer Pressure, the second level of the game. This takes place in a shipyard, and there's plenty of ropes to climb, as well as worms to shoot down. The worms are the easiest to take out. They only take one hit, but some of the enemies, such as the oysters that jump up and down when you get too close, they take multiple hits to shoot down, and you just want to be ready. I've already mentioned that you can use left and right to move around. Up and down lets you look up and down, and you can aim in 8 directions with your attack, which just lets you shoot projectiles out of Spot's hands. And for this stage, you will have to look high and low to pick up all the spots that you can find. Did I get everything here? Hope I did. Yeah, that's the way forward. I don't want to go there just yet. Also, that thing that looks like a reflection of water on the ground is just that. It's just a mirage. Though there can be some fish enemies that stay in them to attack you. Also, you can change the direction you're facing while on a rope. Why did I go this way? You can change the direction that you are facing on a rope just by tapping left and right. That makes a bit of a difference when you're shooting upwards or downwards to take care of worms while you're on a rope. Definitely keep that in mind as you go through this level. Whatever you do. And that's where we need to go for more of the level. And that is a very sharp thing down there, that thing that looks like a jack. You don't want to touch it, obviously. It is possible to fall into a bottomless pit on these piers, too. Also, these bugs that fly back and forth, they also take one hit to kill. You want to be very careful jumping these gaps, because you do not want to fall in, let me tell you. I'd rather lose a life from time over than to lose it to virtually anything else. Just gonna mention that right now. Alright. Shooting down the enemies in that way, just going diagonally and just moving back and forth there, just to make it a little easier to, well, shoot the crabs down. And there's a bug. There's a big dot. And there's a crab that I can shoot down. So, this game, very popular for its time. Definitely scored high in reviews when it came out. I can't remember any reviews off the top of my head, but I know that it was well loved, especially in the European gaming magazines, from what I can gather, and that the American reviewers kind of loved it as well. And it still kind of holds up a little bit, despite some of the things about it, which I'll go into as I play through more of the game. There we go. Want to make sure I take that fish down. Yeah, the fish will spit projectiles at you if allowed to do so. And you obviously don't want them to do so. I may have to jump up there to do that. Okay. And we're starting to run out of time a little bit, and I'm not exactly a big fan of that. Not a big fan. And I could have just jumped onto the can and just got everything that way. I don't know why I didn't do it that way. Also, if you leap from too far a height, you won't die, but you will faceplant, and that will cost you a few seconds. So you want to keep that in mind. And I am going out of my way to go further into this area before it's too late to grab this clock and make sure that I get 2 minutes added to my time. I want to do that so I can have a little bit of a health bonus left, and also ensure that I pick up all of the cool points. I want to make sure that I do that. I don't know if I'm going to do this without losing a life, because again, it is possible to run out of time and lose a life in these stages, which is not the most fun thing in the world. Ow. Why'd I even go over here? There was nothing over here. Yeah, there are some dead ends around here. And I almost missed that spot. Thankfully, I got things, and I did things when I was able to. Okay. We need to jump over here. And, yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. It is possible to miss out on health, and there I am missing out on it again. Come on, grab the thing. Ooh. I can't believe I took damage there. Thankfully, when you die, enemies stay dead. Spots stay collected. I was a little lower than I was when I got hit there earlier. Fortunately and unfortunately. And you also get a fresh set of time. Alright, we got the bonus game for getting 80%. Actually, 85. What am I doing? Come on. Come on, me. You shouldn't be playing this badly. And there was another... There was another clock that I could have gotten if I were a little faster. And I was able to get to where I needed to get without dying. And sadly, I wasn't able to get there without dying. Alright, right down there is a bottomless pit. So you want to watch where you're going here. Don't forget to jump so you can pick up the cool points. Let's make sure we get everything here. We should be able to get everything here, I think. I may have missed at least 1 point. Yeah, I missed 1 point. It's somewhere around the level and I didn't pick it up, but oh well. I'm not gonna go back to get it. You don't get anything for getting 100% cool points. Except more points. And now for our second bonus level. So for the second bonus level, you want to avoid the mines. And you want to make your way up the left end of the bottle of soda that you're in. And make it to this area right here. So that way, you can get some more time. 30 seconds worth. And you can try to get even more things. Which I recommend doing. And once again, I'm not going to get all of the cool points. Just a good amount of them. I'm going to see if I can keep my lives count stable. So that way, in case I want to get as many things as possible, I can do that. And there's some more to pick up right there. Gladly taking it. And at least I knew what I was doing there. Ow. Well, I won't be able to pick up any more time now. Do want to pick up what I can, which is 80%. Not too bad. But at least you don't die from losing, or, well, running out of time in a bonus area. So there's that. And we now have 2 continues to work with. And the third level of this game is called Off the Wall. Just like in the 16-bit version of the game, we will be inside the wall of a house. Once again, we have to find 60 cool points and free our friend from the cage. But that will have to wait until the next video. So join me next time where we play 2 more levels. I'm going to play 2 levels for every video of this Let's Play that I make. Just like when I played the Genesis/Mega Drive version all that time ago. Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!